Hello and welcome to the second stream of the day. I'm your host, Ryan Charpentier from Ascend Audio Video, joined by Jonathan Von, what's your name? Jonathan Von England.
I
I'm
saw a little
kidding.
moment of nervousness.
Yeah,
Like, oh,
no, I just wanted to see what you did. It's not always me being dumb, okay? Sometimes I got to play on my stupidity. Anyway, Jonathan and I are trying to get more consistent. We found the new day, which is going to be Monday. We can go back to what we did a few years ago when we were streaming these with Michael Stevens or Youth Man. We were doing Sundays. Hopefully now we'll do Mondays. It'll be a Monday. But it is the second stream for me today. I am wearing a different shirt and I am not being mobbed by my dog like I was this morning. So she made it downstairs and then peed in my basement
while you're
I
on
was
stream,
streaming. Yeah, this morning I streamed with Ben. We talked about our favorite speakers, and luckily she didn't do that back on camera. But we talked about our favorite speakers, and I'd actually like to talk to you a little bit and learn about what your favorite speakers are. I think I already know you have them in your room, but yeah, we didn't have a movie this week. You continue to fall more in love with the Titan Max Noir.
I do.
Nothing new has come from me. I don't have anything new in the home theater realm. Getting ready for Cedia at the end of the month. We're under a month away from Cedia. It's amazing how fast that comes around every time. We're probably going to be building a new house. So I'm trying to figure out. I met with the builder today trying to figure out what we're going to do. And so Ben and I think, are going to design the room on stream. I think that's the approach we're going to take there. I learned today that I can drill into the ceiling if it's a suspended garage. So that was a win. I didn't think I'd be able to do that. I'm like, I don't want cars falling on my head when I'm in the theater. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
I feel like I should talk to the foundation guy to see if he's worried about low level frequencies.
All kinds of steel girders and rebar and stuff in there.
Yeah, it's probably. I'm not really worried about it. But the drilling into it was a big win. That was a win. I was worried about that.
This your current house or your future house? You're worried.
Future. Yeah, I mean we're like 18 months out, 2 years out. It's going to take a while. And
where are you going to move?
Not like far. A little bit further south. Not.
Come east.
I'm moving a little east, not very far, like a mile east.
That doesn't make it far though. 50 minutes away.
No, I can't help that. I mean, I'm technically closer. I go from 175th to 183rd, so I'm not that far again. No, we're not going to move the sub. The 64 is probably going to go away. I love it, but it's had its time, and there's just other things that I want to do.
Will you leave that home theater in your house? Like, as
sell? That is, I don't know. Honestly, I think it's going to confuse people because they're going to come in, people that are looking at the house, and they'll be like, oh, I get this awesome theater with this house. And I go, no. Like, I could build you a theater, but it's not going to be this. I'm sorry.
The price of the
house. You can buy it with it in it. It's going to be more than the house, but
yeah,
it's up to you. So I think that's just going to confuse people. So we're probably going to rip it out beforehand and take it down to either the plywood or all the way down to the studs when we get to that point. I got to talk to my realtor when we get to that, but it's going to be a while. I mean, it's over a year before that. So the theater's still absolutely going to be in use, but probably will be selling the subs that are in there for sure. I'm going to keep the speakers, but the subs will go because I need to go a different direction. They're not bad. It's just time to do something different. So that's my news. Yeah. Do you have any news? Anything new?
I just want to learn more about this.
Oh, no. Okay. So ask away.
About wanting to move before you ever built the Mad VR Center. I knew that was like something you wanted to do.
We talked about it. Yeah.
Timing was bad with the economy and COVID and all that stuff. So the timing now has become like
better,
more in your favor.
I don't know. I mean, it's so far out. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But we're in a better position. And we had wanted to do this probably 3 years ago. We were talking about when I was planning on building the Mad VR Experience Center, I was thinking about moving and building it into a bigger space. And initially, I was going pretty hectic and pretty out there. I wanted 16-foot ceilings and all this stuff, and I'm like, "That no." So this is gonna be under a suspended garage. We'll probably have, like, 11-foot ceilings. So it's still great, like, still fantastic, but not 16-foot ceilings. Um, we can put the projector in its own room. I'm just gonna have more flexibility. It'll be in a concrete box, so I won't have my wife yelling at me to turn it down. Uh, yeah, it's where we're it's where we're at. So, fresh start. See where we go. Take what I learned from this one, put it into the next one.
From what
And
Sherpy had figured out with his investigation, going a little bit deeper didn't really cost that much more when you're already kinda in the midst of things. Do you price
mm,
all that out, or you're just too early?
so for him, he dug down,
Yeah.
right? So his is a little bit
His
different.
was supposed to be 12 foot. I think I might have to read his thread. Maybe it's supposed to be 13, but they shorted him by a foot or 2, the way they designed it.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Like,
And he didn't realize until they'd actually poured the
that's
foundation and
real
stuff.
frustration for him. So he
Yeah.
dug it out himself beyond that.
So there is supposedly a pretty significant price jump going from like 11 to 12 feet when you do that. And it's because the foundation has to get so much thicker to support the extra weight, not only of what it's supporting on top, but the walls themselves get a lot heavier. So they got to get a lot thicker.
That there's a break point there, huh, on
There
price
is.
stuff.
And it's important to note that you lose some of the height. So if I do a 12-foot
Sure.
foundation, I'm going to lose some of that to the spans and the support that's underneath that. So I'm not going to get 12 foot. It's probably going to be somewhere between 10 and a half and 11 foot. So we're trying to figure out, do I do an 11, a 12, or a 13-foot foundation? In that space, the rest of the space, I'm not doing that high, but in that space, that's where we would be. And then I would build a riser to come in on the back. You'd enter on the back on the riser and then step down.
What if you asked them up front? I know you can build it in wooden force, but maybe you could have the 11-foot walls if they would tier the floor and not have to pay the extra for the wall height because the floor is immaterial at that point.
So then if you do that, you would have, I can't remember what they're called, but the floor would come in and then down.
Yeah, and you could
So
if you made the room large, though, you could hide that behind, like, wall and acoustic treatment and stuff. You'd never know it'd just be a flat wall.
potentially, yes, I have thought about that. I have to ask them to see if that does anything. I don't know. Then sump comes into, well, not
Yeah,
really.
well, so you would want it to come into play because of where we live. Like,
So
you're gonna want a sump in there, I think, regardless.
what
I've
they
been
said,
waterproofing for a year and a half, and you'd see it in all kinds of basements.
what the builders said is that in that room, they do a lot of these. They've been doing them for a while. Golf sims, all different stuff under the suspended garage. And they said since it's only that room that's lower, how they do it and how they grade it and what they put under it, the foundation guys force all of the drainage towards the sump. So they don't put the sump there. And the basement's actually going to be, the suspended garage is actually on the highest point. So
Mhm.
if they grade it correctly, it will all flow towards the sump, is what they say.
Mhm.
Ryan, it's going to be an OP. It won't be an Olathe. So I get to deal with all of that. At least the builder does. But we'll see. I was just talking. I had a meeting with them today about all of this. So we'll be figuring all this out. We'll know the space and the dimensions here pretty soon. We're going to have quite a bit of space to work with. I'm going to have a bigger blank canvas. The blank canvas is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of like 36 by 24.
That'd be remarkable.
I got a lot of room. I don't know how big I actually want to make it. I think there's going to be a lot of space eaten up for acoustics. Like I've done with my space. I do think I want to go 2 rows, but I think a lot of it's going to be eaten up by things you don't see. So we shall see where we end up going. It is a long pathway there, but we will take all of you along with us during that journey, hopefully. I've learned a lot since I did the last one. And the last one, really, I don't really have many complaints about it. I mean, my biggest one was ceiling, I had two. Ceiling height and the projectors in the room. That was really it. I don't really have any other, well, the third one would be isolation because I piss my wife off, but it doesn't bother me in the theater. And I can solve all three of those. So, and the room comes with me. I can take all the Officina stuff, comes with me. Speakers come with me. Subs, we'll do something else. Projector, stay with Christy. It's a ways out there. I don't know that there'll be a new model, but if the Griffin's still the top dog, it'll be in its own room and we'll be cruising. So
The Officina stuff will only cover like a fourth of your walls in a bigger room like that. Though.
So I don't, like I said earlier, I don't think I'm going to make it that much bigger. I'd make it a little longer. So I'd need probably another row on top of panels, and I'd need to make it longer. The front wall is probably going to be very similar. It's going to be all screen. Screen's going to be enormous. And then, so the back wall is going to be all acoustically transparent going back to the back subs. So it really just comes down to making it a little taller and longer than what it is right now. It's not going to be too much bigger, I don't think. We'll see what we come up with when we start designing stuff. We'll see. I have no idea what's going to happen. It could be the same room. Nobody knows. Yet. Anyway, if you guys have questions, do not hesitate to drop them in chat. We will answer them as they come in the order they were received. Bing Dong asking, do we have special tornado codes over there? Olathe actually does. Does where you live, Jonathan?
I'm distant from that to know. I'm not familiar.
So Olathe, if you have a daylight or a walkout basement, you are required in code, or you were, to have a suspended part of the basement that's fully encased. Now, it wasn't when we built our house in 2020, but now you are. I don't think Overland Park has that code. It's funny that people get all asking us about tornadoes. It is not like it was when we were kids, is it?
I've lived in Missouri my whole life, and I've never actually seen a tornado.
No, but I mean the sirens and stuff going off, we don't have it as much as we used to. It's all moved east.
Maybe you guys don't. We have false positive tornado sirens all the time on the Missouri side.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't.
And my wife still hasn't come to the point where she's like jaded to them. So every time they go off, she's grabbing all the kids and running downstairs. And I'm like,
my wife's the same. And I'm outside. My wife's like, you're going to die. Like,
yeah.
Sorry.
I'm like, I guess, the difference is being married and here for half of the life versus us being here the whole time. And like, there's just over those 47 years, there's a lot of false positive alarms.
Yeah. Kansas does pretty well on that. You have the testing at first Wednesday of every month.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, they do pretty well. If they go off, you probably need to do something. Brian's going to do a Scott Newby in his new house. No. I'm just going to do something different. I don't know what yet. Probably more of a full range sub that's able to do everything for art and waveforming. We'll see.
I see someone in the comments that they got hit hard in Illinois this year.
They did.
We're not downplaying what tornadoes can do at all. I mean,
no. I'm saying when I say they don't, I mean they don't happen here nearly as much as they used to. That stuff, that weather pattern has moved further east away from where we are. It's not in Kansas nearly as much, at least from when I was growing up. HTK says, hi guys, are you saving questions already or wait a bit? Yes, we are saving questions. So if you have something, do not hesitate to drop it into the chat. But Jonathan, enough about me and that build, because who knows what's going to happen with that. We could still decide not to do it like we did last time. What is your favorite speaker? I did this with Ben this morning. If Let's start with two. Well, let's start with this. What is the speaker that sent you down this pathway? What is the most memorable one?
I can speak to probably 3 different times that I was incredibly impressed with a speaker for specifically probably for, like, 2-channel stuff, if that's what we're talking about more so than just home theater stuff. Um, the Avant-Garde I heard at Expona is one of my standout favorites. The Black Swan is one of my, in no order, just in my head.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Swans at M-Wave 2024, and then also JTR 212 HT. When I heard
Okay.
them probably back in 2012.
What was the speaker that started it all for you?
Oh man, my dad's little Sears speakers, like tower speakers with a 15-inch drive, or maybe it was in 12-inch. I don't know. When I was a kid, right? My
Mhm.
dad had a Sears electronic AV rack and record players and cassettes, and I grew up
Mhm.
playing with that stuff and loving it. So, like, that got me in the home theater hobby. That got me in the audio hobby, and then the home theater hobby just kind of adopted with some pawn, you know, like speakers from pawn shops and stuff I got off Craigslist at the time or whatever, garage sales, little little cheap stuff that kind of evolved. My first home theater in a box system was from Iowa, AIWA, or however you say that,
Mhm.
and just kind of
They're
like,
still around.
are they really?
I think so.
In
I
a long
see that
time.
name every once in a while. Maybe it's just on used stuff,
They
but I
were, I
feel
mean,
like they're
not
still
maybe
around.
10 years ago, I know they were. I saw them in Best Buy, but I haven't seen them in a while. They may still be.
Mhm.
Then just went up from there. When I was in college, I got some Wharfdale tower speakers, and just kind of that was how that all started. So not really any like commercial speakers or anything that I can recall that brought me into the game. It was more just my dad's interest in it.
So was there a speaker in your 20s or like late teens that you looked at and just went, "I need that in my life"?
No, not there
No?
wasn't. No. What about you?
It was a older version of a Martin Logan ESL. I remember seeing it in a Best Buy sound room and listening to it and just thinking, "Oh my gosh, I need this in my life
Send
one
me
day."
a picture of it. Do you remember the model
It
number?
looked no, they look very similar to what you would picture a Martin Logan electrostatic now looking like, the little ESLs. They were not the first ones with the wood frames and stuff. It wasn't those. It was like in 2008. Um, so not the Arius. It was I can't even remember the name. Jonathan will find him. But that was what stood out to me. And a few years later, I didn't buy the ESL, but the Martin Logan name stuck with me, and I bought a baby Motion 10. It was one of their entry level towers. I think I got them for under $200 for the pair, and loved them. Had them for a long time. Jonathan actually probably listened to them because I had them in my basement even after I became a professional integrator in the space. So Martin Logan, hometown heroes. Their headquarters is 30 minutes from us. Just love the electrostatic sound, love the way they look, and it resonated with me. And then eventually, couple decades later, I had the all electrostatic home theater. So it stayed with me. Like, it wasn't just this one time thing, it stayed with me. And to this day, I still love them. I mean, they will probably be, when they release their, if they ever do, a new version of electrostatics, I can pretty confidently say those speakers will probably go in my living room. I
Mhm.
love them, just how they sound and how they look. They're awesome. They're cool statement pieces. Did you find
I'm
anything?
I'm gonna share a tab here. I was just
That is not a Martin Logan ESL.
no, I didn't look for that because I didn't know which model it was. But this is that Avant-Garde, and I'm not even sure I'm saying it right, but they had this at Expona.
Yeah, I remember these.
And, like, I'm not sure how they would measure compared to other speakers as far as, like, if you had them side by side A/B demoed, but their visual impression is enough to, like, make an impression, right? They're just a
Mhm.
real pretty speaker, and that's like a piano gloss blue. I'm sure they have it in different colors, whatever you want. But it was this style that I heard, and it was in a bigger hotel room than most of the rooms, and they had some just classical music playing. I thought those are really fun for like if you had a bottomless pit as far as money and just
Well,
could have something that's pretty.
I think you hit it there. It's not always about performance. Sometimes aesthetic is just as important as the performance of the speaker. And you've said that a couple times when you're describing this, that you just love the way they look.
Yeah.
And that can make you feel a certain way. And it can make and change for the better and for the worse the experience that you have with those speakers. They are cool. They do look cool.
Yeah, and then just from my vantage, I mean, you're welcome to pull up a thing in the background too while you're doing that. This was another one, the Black Swan, which is what you have now. When we
Mhm.
heard those in the M Wave
That
2024,
is not the Black Swan.
when we heard them in 2024 M Wave, they were amazing, remarkable in that room because he had them turned up so loud. He was doing cinema soundtracks, which is odd choice in my opinion for a 2.1, but it was just really doing it remarkably well. It super clear, bottomless, like as far as output, just a really fun thing. This is the picture you use on a stream sometimes, isn't it?
Sometimes. Yep.
Yeah, so that's that. And then the JTR 212 HT, at the time I first heard these, they were probably like the most capable speaker I'd ever heard. I mean, again, capable of mid 130 dB range, super clean output. Same sort of thing we're talking about, where they're just really oversized type commercial things in a home environment and just a lot of fun, like kind of open your eyes to what's available. So this was probably 14 years ago or so that I heard these, and these still hold a special place in my mind because of that.
So where does the 70J1 stack up?
I would take those for a home theater environment over pretty much anything. So like if we're going to multi-channel, because I think
Those is in the JBL.
yeah, I think they
Okay.
have technical benefits over other traditional designs in the context of uniformity of sound, and I think that's easily proven with like frequency response graphs off axis and stuff. So like for cinema with multiple pieces and just kind of all matching, that's my preference, subjectively what it is.
Okay. All right.
And maybe if I had like unlimited funds, maybe I'd step up to the CBT 1000, which are just the larger big brother one of these, but I don't need that in my current
I
room.
don't know what you would gain from that.
Yeah, I wouldn't in my current room, but if I had a huge room or something and just kind of unlimited funds, that's might be what I do.
You mean might as well.
If I could get out of this menu here. I mean, I've said it before on the podcast, I'll say it again. Like if I was to move my home theater room, these would just come right with me. I mean, I'd gladly put them in any home theater room I would make.
So for that's our favorite speakers.
You kind of didn't mention yours except for just the electrostats.
I mean, my favorite is
I didn't watch your podcast this morning. I was working, but
no, it's okay. My favorite budgetary wise at the entry point, I really like the Kef Q ones.
Mm-hmm.
They're $700 a pair. You can find them depending on if they're on sale for $400 a pair. They're just a great value for the money. They're not going to be SPL monsters. I mean, they're not. Let's face it. But they're a good-looking speaker. They are a capable speaker for the money, and that's where I would start. After that, probably something like the Kef Q Concerto, which is $1,300 or $1,400 a pair. Just more of the same, just more. And then after that, budget-wise, moving into like a Martin Logan B100. I just like the way that tweeter type sounds, the dispersion pattern. It's a narrower. I like it. After that, you're probably moving between Perlisten and Kef. But it really just comes down to the application. But my favorite speakers after that, I'm pretty jaded just because of the stuff I've been around, right? I've experienced a lot. I've spent a lot of time with a lot of different speakers. So my personal favorites are going to be up there just because I'm chasing the rabbit and I've spent time with them, are going to be the Perlisten S7T Black Editions, the Kef Blade 1 Metas, and then the Black Swans from Ascendo. All very capable speakers, but if you look at the dispersion plots for all of them, they are all very different, like hugely different speakers. Do not use the same tool for every job. It's not going to work. Use the correct tool for the job. But enough about speakers. Let's answer some questions that people have. There's not very many of them, so today may be a short stream, but you said you only had an hour, so maybe that'll work out.
Yeah, we got some vacation stuff coming up at the end of the week. Again, it's just all packed in this little, like, month time frame, so I need to kinda get ready for that.
That's good. That's exciting. Good
Yeah.
for you. Hopefully where you're going is exciting.
We're gonna go on a canoe trip with some people from 5 families from church, so that'll be fun.
Do you have to pull a trailer?
Probably we're actually gonna tent camp, which is gonna be hot in Missouri, but
I just worry about you pulling trailers and brakes lighting on fire and bad things happening with stories that you've had. So hopefully that's not happening. But if you guys have questions or anything you need answered, do not hesitate to drop them in chat. We will get to them in the order they are received. There are a few of them. There's 4 in right now. So let's jump into them. Jonathan, this one's for you. Scooter Rec 1. Jonathan, where can I find your recommendations for settings for the Titan Noir Max?
So, Scooter, if you head to my AVS forum room thread, I'll put it in chat, and you can just Google it. You'll find it. It's actually on the last page or so of my room thread, and I've been kind of formulating those over the course of the couple months that I've had this thing. And they're locked in pretty good, but subject to change with firmware updates and that kind of thing. So let me put a link in there, and you can try to hit it. If you can't find it, just Google Archaea's multi-purpose room, and you'll find it.
Scroob the Nookie says, Ryan, what do you think about the MEF? I don't know what the MEF is.
Now, I'm not looking at the screen right now, and I'm curious what's the spelling of meth?
Meth, not meth. Meth. MEF.
It's a lot of it.
That's why Jonathan only has an hour. He's got to go meet people on the corner.
All right. Let's see here.
Scroob, let us know what MEF is. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm happy to answer that question when we know. Back to Jonathan. If the NZ500 is worth the 7,000 MSRP and the Titan Noir Max is worth the 6,000 MSRP, what should the QB1000 cost based on your experience with it? I know what your answer is going to be. What are you doing with the chat? What is happening?
Put it up, but I got to figure out how to change our rotation of our pictures. Can you put us in a vertical format? Where's the picture for the vertical format? There you go. Les, did you have that off on purpose, or do you not like that anymore?
I forgot.
No, it's fine. Okay, so this is not going to make Epson very happy, but I kind of feel like Epson makes a good product. I feel like they're a little overpriced at this junction, and I kind of think
I'm going to change what you said about overpriced. I think it's a little long in the tooth. It's been around for a while.
Yeah, well,
technology's changed.
I would say overpriced in the sense that they just keep raising prices, but that technology doesn't change that much. So we're kind of on the same page, but I think they're sort of pricing themselves out of where they're relevant. Like, I think the QB1000 should be a $5,000 projector, basically. That's
if I remember correctly, you think the QB1000 should replace the LS12000.
It should. The LS12000 should have gone away, and the QB1000 should have replaced it, and the price shouldn't have been $8,000. It's still a nice projector. I'm not saying it's anything other, but I think it's overpriced at this junction in the market. And I think, personally speaking, these DLPs with the new chips are going to start taking Epson's lunch money if they don't make some serious changes in their technology.
I think they've already started. It's already started. They do trade blows in some ways, so there's not really a projector that does everything perfectly well in this price range. But I agree. I think I agree. Hopefully there's something new coming. I don't know.
I think, did you know I got selected for that New York enthusiast meeting by Epson? I got my name pulled out of the hat, so I'm going to that in September.
I didn't know anything about this. When is this?
The new models.
There's new models?
Well, that's kind of the wink, wink, nod, nod type thing that we're seeing. It's on AVS forum. It was advertised. It was like, hey, if anyone's interested in coming to kind of be wine and dined by Epson. You know, they did that in like California a couple months ago.
They did, and it was well received. People enjoyed it. And
they're doing the same thing again in New York. And I just put my name in the hat this time and got pulled. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, guys know I like Epson. I want them to succeed. I'm happy to give them feedback from my experience. And so I think it'll be cool. And one of the things that I'm excited about is they're going to show their new models potentially, or at least show us some of the stuff they're going to showcase at CEDIA. So
they're
yeah.
going to show you. It'll be after Cedia. Yeah.
Let me get you the date. Epson Forum. It should be on the homepage here. Let's go to articles.
He's going to tell me that it's over the time of M Wave.
No, it's not. It's a week after M Wave, which is still kind of tight, but it's not in conflict with. So here we go. Back to the first page one. I found the thread. It's September 24th in Manhattan, and the event runs from just 4 p.m. to 9:30. And they're gonna, showcase kind of their QL series, which I'm already familiar with, and some of their other projectors. But then they're also going to show. I mean, I don't know if they're, or you don't think they would show it if it's actually going to be at Cedia? You don't think they'd showcase it there?
No, I don't know what they would show. I have no idea.
And what is Cedia's date this year? Do you know off the top of your head, or do we need to look that up?
Beginning of September. I don't.
Okay, so this would be after that. So then it would be fair game to show, regardless.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a few guys on the forum that I know their forum handles and I've interacted with them over the years that are going, and I'm one of them. They're having 30 people go. So
well, that'll be fun.
Yeah, something interesting.
That will be a lot of fun. Where did we leave off? We did that one. E4 Superfly. Gents, can you please explain to me, like I'm 5, if a driver and an amp have their limitations, how are we able to boost the low end using EQ, because according to my understanding, this shouldn't be possible.
You can only go up to where it is possible. You're not out of line, Superfly.
I think so the important thing to understand is that typically what you see if you're looking at a driver, let me see if I can find one. Ascendo's a perfect example because the clippable data they show does not have DSP. So if we look at let's look at the 32 off the top of my head. I'm going to put it on stream so everybody can see it. Let's do this. Share this. Share. Okay. So this is the 32. I know it's a little small. Maybe I'm going to download it. Let's do this. Replace window with this. Share. Why is it so small? Oh, because chat's up. Can you turn chat off?
Yes.
Okay. So, replace window. That share. That's not replacing it. Replace window. I want you to use this. There we go. Now it did for some reason. Okay. So this is the maximum output for this driver. And it's also its frequency response without DSP. So if you look here, it's roll off. We're going to start rolling off at like 40 hertz. And we start sloping down. And if you look at database, it's something like the 4000 ULF. You're going to see something similar.
It would be a much different roll-off pattern because versus sealed. But
so you can create a flat response. And I can say that this subwoofer is flat to 110 dB. Now, you just draw an imaginary line here.
Right.
And you're EQing this. So I can pull this up like if I'm listening at 95, my slope, the driver is going to slope down. Like my response is going to slope because this is the natural tendency of the system. So if I then boost by using a shelf filter, I can boost as long as I have the voltage up to this point. Once I hit this point, the driver, even if I've put in EQ to flatten this out, the driver is going to slowly, as I push further and further and further into this, move back into this native response because this is the limit of this said driver. Regardless of how much EQ I apply to this, it's only ever going to put out this much. Now, theoretically, with Ascendo, Jeffrey has said They haven't hit the current limit for these, so you could do more. But as per this example, um,
You're going to start encountering
you're going to start
distortion
encountering issues. Yeah.
and ultimately probably some like surround wear, potentially damaging that voice coil as you get hot. If you try to push it, like bad things can happen if you try to push beyond that red
Yeah.
very far.
Yeah. So does that make sense, E4 Superfly? Hopefully I answered that question for you. But that's how you can push past that. Because if I'm here on this natural slope at whatever voltage this is, I still have headroom and I can boost further past that.
I'm going to explain it a slightly different way, but your answer is correct, but maybe a slightly different way to make sense of it. So you had said if the SPL is just at 110 and you had EQ'd it flat, so you're boosting the lower end and effectively cutting the upper end, whatever. You're just making a flat response at 110. The second you try to take it louder than that, your sub is going to be running out of excursions. So you probably have some sort of limiter on there. Like Ascendo is probably doing it. JTR is doing it. They're all doing it. They have a limiter down there to prevent it from going over that spec. And if you don't have that limiter and you're doing it do-yourself amplifier, you're going to cause trouble if you keep going. So they have that stuff all limited out. But as Ryan said, and he's exactly right, you have that nice flat frequency response. You've measured it at your room sweeps. Say you're doing kind of your like 85 dB listening level calibration. You're like, look at my frequency response, super flat. You turn it up to reference and you get another 20 dB and you're no longer going to be flat. If you look at that graph, it's going to resort back to more what like Ryan was showing there. You can't just keep increasing that bottom end forever. It gets tapped out.
And this is why when people say, and you should always take this with a grain of salt, when people, enthusiasts, end users, vendors say, oh, I'm flat down to whatever frequency, the next question that you should ask them is at what SPL? Because if they're not pushing the limits of things and they say, oh, I'm flat at 75 dB, and they're not pushing it, or they say, oh, I'm flat down to 3 hertz at 60 dB or 50 dB, that is an indicator for how capable that system is. If I tell you, well, the MadVR Experience Center is flat down to 5 at 120 dB, that's another indicator. So it's important to look at everything as a sum of its parts instead of everything on its own in a vacuum. Anyway, won't beat that one into the ground. But good question.
I think we can show that, Ryan, and I'm going to do another graph just to kind of show that a little bit better, because your graph was just like there's nothing wrong with your graph, but I think it can show better with a subwoofer that is pushed to its limits, that doesn't have perhaps as good a DSP. So let me share my screen real quick and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Just to kind of cement this, what you're talking about. So here's like a Velodyne DD18.
Yeah, this is a good example because it shows it returning to its native state.
Do you see that, like, with their EQ applied at the low frequencies is nice and flat down to 15 hertz? Like, that's a nice response. But as you go up towards those higher frequencies, and you saw in Ryan's example, his could get up to like 110 dB type levels. This one can't get above about 95 dB, maybe 97, 98 dB at 15 hertz. And so beyond that, you're just flattening out that response. It's no longer going to be a flat response. You're dipping down on the low end because it can't produce it. It can still produce that output up high. It just can't do it down low. So your frequency response is no longer clean. And the way to get around that is by adding multiples, right? So this is what one driver does, but if you add a second driver and they're stacked, you get 6 dB more output across the board. So this 95 dB limitation now goes up to 101 dB limitation. And then you add 2 more and you can double it out again, and maybe you get 107 dB. So you're just adding quantity to try to be able to keep that flat if you want to keep it flat as you go up.
And you're getting a doubling for surface area and power, or excursion and power. So that's why. If you only added one of those, it would theoretically be 3 dB. So just keep that in mind. It's a system. And you can see the flat line where all the lines are converging. That looks very similar to the native response of a sealed system at 12 dB per octave. And this is what I mean by a system will return back to its native shape. So as you encounter compression, the limits, we're moving back to the native shape of this system. Yeah, I like that example, John. Nice. We good now?
We're good. I'm gonna shut it
Good.
off. There you go.
HT Ken 2 or Kenny heard that more and more Sony and Anthem AVRs now lock Atmos playback behind the DSU setting. You have to enable DSU, creates issue and extra steps for when you want to listen without upmixing. I did not know this.
I'm not even sure what he's saying, unless it's related to some source players trying to have that like PCM always active type thing, you know, like Apple did recently, where you can turn that on and off.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Why would you do that?
Well, the reason Apple released that function on there is where it was constantly Dolby Atmos was because people were complaining about with some AVRs, boutique type stuff, where it would take a longer time to
I'm not saying Apple. Why would you do this with the AVR? Same reason?
I mean, that's what they did it for, was to eliminate people complaining about the long lock times.
A lot of people do complain about that.
So if it's always in Dolby Atmos, then it doesn't have any lock times. But you can't even just do regular stereo. It like upmixes, you know, your receiver's upmixing things.
Well,
I'm not following what his example is exactly, so that may not be applicable.
Yeah. It's interesting if they're doing that, though. I can understand why, because Joe Schmo doesn't like black screens, and changing or forcing a variable to not change theoretically would lessen that black screen. So I could see that. But I don't like being forced into something.
He has a follow-up thing here. We'll see if we're understanding. If you watch a Blu-ray that has Atmos, you can't hear that Atmos soundtrack unless you enable Dolby Surround. And if your content is not Atmos, then it's Dolby Surround mode. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not 100% familiar with that. But if you lock in, like if I take my Apple TV and I lock it into that always Dolby Atmos thing, then whatever sound mode I have on my receiver, that's what it's going to keep because the signal doesn't change. So I think it's relevant. Like if I change it to stereo, it's going to stay in stereo no matter what you do because the signal from the Apple TV is always the same thing. So I don't know that that's just unique to, you know, Sony or whatnot. It's
but
it's unique to the change.
If you put like a den in an auto, it would change to Atmos.
Yeah, like if you
He's saying it doesn't unless you enable the Dolby Surround mode. Like you have to manually select it.
That only, in my mind, that only works if your source is forcing it to always be Atmos, and you've changed it manually on the AVR receiver to a stereo. But maybe it's a different realm for Sony's or whatnot.
I don't know. Sorry, HDK. I don't have a good answer for you. I don't like being forced into things, is what I will say. Bing dong. How long have the CBTs been around? Got to be more than a decade. Do you think they will ever introduce a new version?
I don't think you can never say never, but I don't think that they had the popularity for the complexity of the crossover that they probably want. They're used in pro cinemas, they're used in pro audio applications for PA systems and stuff like that, but they're not that well known, and they're, like I say, their component, their crossovers, all that stuff's way more complicated. If you look at a crossover board inside that CBT, it's like the entire length of the speaker almost. It's extremely complicated because it has all this shading that's happening with the drivers, attenuation for the different groupings of drivers, and there's different EQ settings. You can use a screwdriver to change it to like a music mode or a speech mode or like a, you know, a narrow or a wide, and all that stuff has to have a different EQ path. So like Google it, and you'll see that the crossover is extremely complicated, and complication adds cost, right? And also like warranty issues or repair or service type things, you know, so all that. Maybe if I had to guess, the juice might not be worth the squeeze if they don't gain a lot of popularity. And they have a small, you know, corner of the market, but they're not taking over anything. So I don't know.
It is still an active SKU. They still manufacture them.
Yes.
But I agree. It's a complicated speaker. You don't see them nearly as often now in commercial cinema. There's other options that are used, not all the time, but I think simplicity is a big part of that. But they are still an active SKU, and you do see them from time to time.
And frankly, their price has gone up since I've been watching them for like $600. So that's reflected in the market price increases. Like when I first started watching, they were like 880 or something, and now they're up to like 14 or 1500, I think. Well, you can still get a traditional QSC speaker that's a commercial cinema speaker that's a traditional form factor for $300 or $400. So if a cinema has to pay $1,500 a speaker for one and $300 or $400 for another, and they got to add a ton of them, it's only going to be the premier theaters that would even do that. It's not going to be your mom and pop shops that are just making small cinemas.
Ryan, what do you think about the KEF R11 Meta? I think it's a good speaker. It's a well-engineered speaker, and it's going to deliver solid results. I mean, if we look at the spin data, this is from Audio Science Review from Amir, and you can see that it's just got a nice, well, I don't like this. I don't know what's causing this dip. Amir says it's the diffraction effect at 1.2K, but he loves everything else about the speaker. So I like KEF. They're very well engineered. They're an objective speaker. If you like the sound of them, I think you're going to like, if you like KEF, you're going to like the R11 Meta. They're good. No complaints from me. This one's for you, Jonathan. Zach asks, you kept your Epson for brightness. You kept your JVC for darkness. What's the Titan Noir use case?
For dark money? I think that was a mistype.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there something I don't know, Jonathan? Is there something you're using it for that we don't know?
Zach, it's too early for me to make a real determination on it, but at this very moment, I think it might replace both. It's more than a happy medium. It's a 85%, in my subjective opinion. Everyone's gonna have, it's a polarizing projector. So let's put that out there. Polarizing projector.
You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it.
In my subjective opinion, it's like 85% of both instead of like meeting in the middle. And so like I'm not ready to make this decision yet. I'm still evaluating. I'm going to be evaluating for a couple of months. That was my full intent from the beginning. But if the trajectory continues of how I'm liking it, I'm going to have one projector and it's going to be the Titan Noir, and I'm going to take the other two down and sell them.
It's going to give them to me. Give them away.
So here, I'll give you an example. Last night, I watched He-Man Masters of the Universe, and the night before, I watched it. So last night, I only watched like maybe half of it. I watched it the first night entirely, 100% on the NZ500. And then I watched the first 30 or 45 minutes again on the Titan Noir Max, and then I skipped to some like scenes because I just saw it so recently. I didn't watch the whole movie again, but I skipped to some scenes that were notable. I preferred about 95% of that content on the Titan Noir Max over the JVC NZ500. Now, does that surprise everybody? Yes. Does it surprise me? Yes. But such it is. Like it feels 2 or 3 times brighter than the JVC. HDR, it's HDR tone mapping.
It is.
It is. HDR tone mapping does something differently than JVC. Like it or hate it. There's people on the forums that say they hate it and it ruins tone mapping and the image shouldn't look like that. Fine. I like it. It makes it a lot more punchy. Not just the brightness, because the QL3000 is brighter, but the Titan Noir Max does something different and unique with the tone mapping that I really like. So the black levels are almost to the JVC. It's 2 or 3 times brighter. The motion's better because it has a nice frame interpolation engine. The sharpness is better because DLP is inherently sharper. Like, there's a lot to like. There are some niggles. They're working them out in firmware. The thing's a million miles better than it was even at launch. But there are some niggles. The zoom and focus and the lens shift is generation 1, where like the QL3000 is like perfection. Like the lens zoom and focus on that. The memory recall is fantastic. The NZ500 is fantastic. Not as fantastic as the QL. The QL has it beat on the memory recall. This is Gen 1. It's clumsy. It's clunky. But the picture quality has something that's kind of like striking my fancy. So it is what it is.
And I'm the opposite. I don't like the artifacts. I don't like the RBE. I don't like the tone mapping. It's not for me. And this is what Jonathan means, that it's striking. It's polarizing.
Yes.
It's what I mean, that you love it or you hate it. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad, especially if you like it. If you like it, have at it. That's a great option, especially at that price point of what it was at. But just be very careful about jumping on from what other people hear or say. You need to see it to make sure that it's something for you.
Yeah. I've had quite a few people come here and see it, and it really does seem to split people's opinions more than any other projector I've had in here. Even my own daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, is not a big fan of it. So, like,
And they live with 3 different projectors.
yeah,
She's got an informed decision, and she does not like it.
yeah.
But Jonathan, I'm glad you like it.
I do, and increasingly
It seems
more.
like it's
The longer I have
everything.
it, the more I
How
like
you
it.
talk about it and what I know you like about video, that projector seems to deliver everything that you like.
Yeah. Very saturated, very poppy, very punchy. It's got great blacks.
E4 Superfly says, "Wow, I can't believe we've reached a point where Jonathan may not swap out projectors mid-movie."
Never say never.
That's debatable. He still does it. Sometimes he stops it, goes upstairs and gets a TV and brings it down and watches the remainder of the film on the TV. It's just what he does. Sometimes he pulls out his phone and watches it on phone and AirPods. That's what he does. You never know with what Jonathan's going to do.
Yeah.
No idea.
It's not in a permanent place yet, right? You can see it's still on the milk crates back there. It's the bottom of the 3. But I've been considering doing some swapping and trying it and see where it lands. I mean, again, Zach, I'm not ready to tell you that that's the absolute gospel truth, that that's the way it's gonna be in like 2 months' time. But its trajectory is that way for me personally.
Arid says everything in this hobby is 40% overpriced now. Man, been that way for 5 to 6 years. I miss the days when there was so much better value for the price. Been at it since 2001. I don't think this is just home theater. I think it's just inflation and everything's gotten more expensive. I mean, and I think the internet has ruined things. Companies have learned that they can just charge more for things, and capitalism, baby. What's your feeling on that, Jonathan?
Yeah, I mean, houses have gone up that much, cars have gone up almost that much, groceries have gone up that much. It's just kind of like, it's what's happening. It's not fortunate, but it's what's happening.
That it is. Hopefully wages and stuff. Hopefully your wages have kept pace. I know a lot of people's haven't.
No.
Hey, I was trying to be positive. And Jonathan's over here like, this, my life, it sucks.
No, I didn't say that.
I don't know what's going on.
My wages have not kept pace with inflation, that's for sure.
It's so bad. Life bad.
Who said that?
You did, in my mind. Okay. Moving on. Drew Arredondo. Any suggestions on what to do in KC in the 2 days between theater tours and the start of show seminars? Jonathan and I were actually just talking about that. We may be starting building on Thursday. The place got back to me. We thought we couldn't get into the building. They said it wasn't available Thursday. And we were going to do staging like late at night, just get things in. And I asked them and like, oh yeah, you guys could do this. You guys could have done that from the beginning.
Wait a minute. They told us it was rented out initially, but
yes.
now no.
No.
Maybe just to give them the benefit of the doubt, maybe the other people canceled, or hopefully we just didn't talk to a different person that knew more. Yikes.
Drew, if you want slave labor, you can come help us build stuff.
Ryan's put some things on there as well. Kramer has put some things on the M-Wave page if you just want to go to Kansas City. There are some cool things to do in Kansas City for sure.
Drew, you got my number. Shoot me a message. I mean, we can hang out beforehand. I mean, I'll be available. I'll be running stuff during the day. It's a more chill show. I mean, I've got 3 rooms and I got help in all the rooms. So I'm not nearly as stressed out about this one. We can have more fun with this. I'll probably be psycho by the time this is going on, but hopefully it'll be more fun. We're not going to have as good a pizza though, Drew, as we did at Truly's in Dana Point when I was out there with you. Frank V, question about wireless transmitters. There are 2 that I know of, REL and SVS. Any word on the street as to which is better?
I've looked in the SVS one. I think that's probably what I'd go to out of the gate because they have really low latency, and that's what you want on those wireless transmitters. I don't know what the REL is. You could try to compare, but look at that. That's probably one of the most important things because
Yeah, Martin Logan has some too. But as far as availability, I would just do SVS. Just get the SVS.
it's
If you
tried and
need some,
true.
huh?
It's tried and true. The SVS.
Yeah. If you need some, shoot me a message. I'm a dealer for SVS. Maybe I can save you a little bit of money. Not sure. I can't promise, but maybe I can. I don't know. At least tax, shipping. We'll see. Did we do, if you watch Blu-ray? Yeah, we did. We did that one. We did that one.
Somebody's asking on the M-Wave thing what the dates are. We have the website. Type in M-Wave 2020.
Right here on the left.
There you go.
It says it right there on the left side of the screen. M-Wave, September 18th through the 20th. Really, it's the 19th through the 20th.
That's funny.
You can come help us set up the 18th and hang out with us. But it's the 19th and the 20th.
What is this? I don't agree with that. Show a short video of the event location on this page. Oh, now I know what he's talking about. No, that's
What's he talking about?
so on my YouTube channel, I was like waiting for my car tires to be done, and I walked through the neighborhood of Independence, and there was a Cinema 6 that had been like running around bankrupt, and it had been taken over by homeless people. So I took a picture of it because the front door was just open, like it's all boarded up, but it was just open. I pulled it open. I didn't dare venture in there, and I said, "Future M-Wave location," and like made an 11-second video. That's what he's.
Is this like the story of the theater that was going debunked of all of the tactile transducers that when the wheelbarrow and the homeless guy just comes by and takes the wheelbarrow?
I think so.
Is that the same kind of thing that happened?
That
same
place,
kind of location?
that place.
Really, I'm just concerned about the positions that Jonathan is putting himself in and the heroic actions that he's taken to try and save these defunct theaters.
Yeah. I would love to go in there and explore, but I'm not doing it alone. You want to go with me sometime? Would you do it?
Yeah.
Go in during the day with a few people? I think it'd be fun. See, I'd like to see if they took the stuff out of there just out of curiosity. Are the chairs still in there? Or the like the film room? Is it still got?
Jonathan's going to try and revitalize this theater.
There will be nothing of value because on the outside of the building, all the copper, like electrical panels are all opened up, all the copper's taken. Like that place has been raided, but it would still be fun to explore.
I mean, there's probably something. Arid, Airrod 9088. Have you either of you seen 4K cinematic yet on Kaleidoscape? I thought they already got the true mezzanine versions. So what is this new format? Is it something new from Studio or from Kscape? The mezzanines are the same. It has to do with the encodes that Kaleidoscape is making. They have a higher bit rate and they have a higher chroma. They are technically better and they are objectively better if you know what to look for and you have a system that can showcase them. It is better.
So when you say the mezzanine's the same, correct me. I thought the mezzanine was like the studio file, the original.
It is. Yep.
So if it's the same, was it not the original before?
You don't get to download the mezzanine file.
I thought, but Kaleidoscape has the mezzanine, so now they're
Kaleidoscape creates the encodes from the mezzanine file.
Oh.
And previously there was more compression on said encodes because of limitations with players and
I guess I thought they were actually delivering the original one before.
No.
So okay.
No. It's far too big. It's big. Big boy. Not possible. So it is better. If you're on the fence about Kaleidoscape, this is a good jumping in point because there is a demonstrable benefit, not just some content. Any cinematic release is that I've seen, if you stop it and compare, it's better. The sound is not better. This is video only. Sound is not better. Sound is the same as previous encodes. It's only the video. If anybody needs Kscape, there is a back order happening right now, and it's last I checked last week, it was several weeks. So, got to get in line though. Jonathan, have you seen it yet?
I haven't yet.
It'll be at M-Wave. So, you'll at the very least get to see it there if you're not over at my place to see it before that. Percy Bedford 6266. What recommendations do you have for processors in the $6,000 range? I'm currently using an Arkham AVR11 in preamp mode. Love Arkham, but I'm going to move the AVR11 to my living room. $6,000. What would you do? We can assume that he's got
the Denon and Marantz flagship territory is where that is for me.
Yeah,
close to maybe one step down from flagship, depending on which model.
Is the AVR11, is that a preamp? Oh, he's using it in preamp mode. Okay, so we can assume that he's got amps.
Mm-hmm.
So you do like an AV10.
I think AV10 is over his price range a little bit, but you could also do the A1H that I don't think would be much over his price range, and you could do that in preamp mode. It'd be the same thing.
Or you could do an AV20 or an AV30.
Mm-hmm. Depending on how many speakers you need. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm real happy with mine. Now, that being said, maybe you know more than I do, but there are new models peaking. Like the
3900. They are a peaking.
So I don't know if the flagship will be replaced. Sometimes those are a year or two off the normal rotation, but they might. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if anyone knows.
I haven't seen any new Marantz products. It's been new Denon so far. There haven't been many big differences. The biggest thing was the channel expander.
Yeah, which may come. We're hoping it comes to the AV10 potentially, but maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't have a good solution for that. Percy, if you're in the States, shoot me a message. Contact info is in the description, and we can get you taken care of. Save you some coin. Get you into something that makes sense, and hopefully saving you some money in the process. Well, can't believe we reached that one. So Macro says, and this is going back to the Titan, also don't like that you have to be so particular with screen choices. Kind of has to be low Fane white woven. I've ordered a gray woven to try with it. Don't think it will knock off the QL7000 though. You don't. Do you see the speckle?
I have a tiny bit, but it's not obnoxious to me. This is a trait of RGB projectors in general, is that you can't have a positive grain screen. It's not just the Titan or Max. Skeen, like Fane. So yeah. I mean, if you're gonna get a triple laser DLP, you're going to need to drop your gain. You can't have a 1.3 gain. You can't have a 1.1 gain. Like real world, it needs to be like a 0.9, 0.8, 0.7 to get rid of the laser speckle. I mean, that's just what it is. That's not news.
And Commercial does this too. Commercial does some different things. They have wobulators, the vibrators that they actually put on lenses so that they can use high gain screens to remove some of this. They'll sacrifice a little bit of sharpness in order to get the gain, and then they use vibrators on screens or on lenses in order to remove said artifacts and issues.
So that reminds me, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend it unless you try it, but there are people trying it right now, getting little like shakers effectively and putting it on their screen and saying that it does help speckle.
It will.
So, I mean, I don't have any experience there, but I'm reading that on the forums.
Why? No, it will, because Christy does it.
They're doing on the lens instead of the screen. If you
they
just
do both.
Okay.
They've got both options. They have big spider things that they attach to the screens, because if you think about the size of these screens, I mean, you need as much gain as you can get for a lot of these to get the brightness, especially on older projectors. So they have several different methods to make this work. I mean,
there's a guy on the forums right now claiming that the Stuart 130, which traditionally would have a lot of speckle with a RGB laser, that the Stuart 130 doesn't have speckle when he put a shaker on the screen. So, like, unconfirmed. I mean, I wouldn't go on the basis of one person saying it, but there are people ordering them and trying them actively in the Titan or Max thread. And we'll get feedback on that.
It is a demonstrable objective benefit to do. It is a trade, though.
My question is, wouldn't you see that screen shake? Like,
it doesn't have to be very much. And I think it would depend on how close you are. And you kind of caught me on this is right before I was going to go into this. It is a trade. If you have a vibrating screen and things are moving, you're kind of creating a diffusive effect. So you are giving up something in order to remove the RBE effect. It is not a free lunch.
Laser
So
speckle effect, not RB effect. But
yeah,
yes.
sorry, laser speckle.
Mhm.
It's not a free lunch. You're giving up some sharpness in order to combat this. So just remember that you are trading. It's not something for free.
I just kind of wonder how far. I don't really have a way to test it. I'm trying to buy a shaker, but I wonder how far you'd have to be away to see that shake because I feel like any little tremble with like
I don't
acoustic
know.
energy I see at 11 feet on my screen. I mean, you could certainly see if if the subwoofers start activating the screen material with bass.
I don't know.
But if you're talking minuscule, I mean, how minuscule is what is it doing with laser spec? I don't even think I understand the concept of it. I read that it helps, but why does it help? Like you're already on woven screen. Like what is it? How is it eliminated? Wouldn't it just change the angle of it and just make it instead of like a more movable sparkly? I mean, I don't even know how it works.
I don't know the technical parts behind it. I'm not sure. I could see if my Christie contact could explain it to me.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Let me see if I can remember to do that.
It feels like logically in my head, it would make more noise rather than less as far as the speckle,
I don't know.
but
I'm not sure. I don't know
I'm
why
trying.
I'm whispering. Bing dong, still crickets from Mini DSP Tide. I sent them a message. They've got a dealer portal thing, and I sent them like, "Hey, I'm ready." And they told me to get back to them later when the tide's available, and the tide's available, and then they never responded. So their communication's not been outstanding. They're not a US based company, so I can't fault them too much. But nope, nothing yet, Bing Dong. Mars, I currently have a Strato E. Do you know if anyone is offering an upgrade program to get the Strato K? Not that I'm aware of. I mean, you can send me a message and I can potentially do something for you. Your best bet, though, is to probably sell it on AVS or the Kaleidoscape forums to recoup as much as you can. Or put that Strato E on another TV or another display in the home. Don't sell it. It's still a good device.
Bing Dong is asking for a little bit more information on what laser speckle looks like. I'm just skipping it because we're skipping to that because we're kind of on the same topic.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same as rainbow effect. So rainbow effect is when you see like a spattering of red, green, blue cascading off bright white, silver, aluminum colors off a black background. Typically, that's like when it's most pronounced with DLP. So you see like what I see, and maybe everyone sees a little bit different, but what I see is if there's like a white object or a white line, you get like those real tight red, green, blue lines, and they're cascading like 3 3 3 3 3, and they just kind of like shoot off, and it's super distracting. Laser speckle is like if you have a solid single color. Red is traditionally a color that shows it pretty strongly. That solid color actually has kind of a shimmer or a sparkling effect or kind of like an unsteadiness. That is I mean, it could bother people to different levels. It will bother you more if you have a higher green screen, almost like crushed reflectors on a white screen. That would be a good way to describe it. Like there's just a little bit of like bounce back that's happening that seems not solid, perhaps not just a steady color. And
This is just
color, but it's not a steady uniform.
This is just one color, but you end up seeing like all of these little dots on the screen materialize. Like you can kind of looks like it's sparkling almost. Now imagine this is like 3 different colors and or the color of whatever it's illuminating, and it just kind of looks like it's got a little shimmer to it. Is the best way that I can describe it. Shimmer. It looks like there's a shimmer on the screen. Is the easiest way to think about it.
Macro Proxy, did you get your Titan Or Max? Are you playing with that now, or is it still off?
I think he's got it. He's saying it's super bad.
Yeah, he's got a high gain gray screen, which is kind of like worst case scenario, I think, right now for that.
He said he's trying a woven screen, so The Crow Does Mad VR know that they have issues with ground loops on the MV Core? I have 1 and 3 other people have them with the same issue. You have to spend more money to fix it. So the best way to actually fix that is to run a true active HDMI cable. I had a brain fart there. A true active HDMI cable from your AVR or preamp to the Mad VR. If you do that, the ground loop will go away because there's no copper in it for it to traverse. So there's not very many of these cables that exist. Celerity makes one, and Rui Pro makes one. Doesn't have to be anything long. Just that's my suggestion to fix it. Rui Pro is usually the one that people use because it's readily available on Amazon. Just make it sure you get the 8K one with the detachable heads. It's the newest one, and get the length that you need, and your ground loop should go away. There are no other questions. That is it.
Someone
It's been
said,
an hour and 10 minutes.
This is a cool one. Erod says he has got a monoprice H2P1 that now they have a tactile channel on there.
Oh, wow.
That's cool. And I
it
love
has direct art
that they're listening to the community and slowly still releasing things on that thing. What's it been out for like 6 years? They're still releasing.
Been out a long time.
Updates
and it had some
at first it was a little rough, but it's come a long ways. And that's another good option. I mean, I wouldn't say anything different. That's a good option. And probably one of the cheaper options. Really, you could save about half the money he had suggested.
Mars, you can send me an email at ryan@ascendav.net. That email should be in the contact or in the description down below, or you can go to ascendav.net and use the contact form, and you can get a hold of me.
You should flash that up there. Do you have that, your little banner for your
you contact? Or you can scan this.
There you go.
Mars, and it'll take you over there.
I was laughing at Happy Bullets note. For some people, if they see all that, then yeah, it's a terrible choice. but it doesn't do it to me.
Jonathan's immune to all of this, except he has like eye cancer when it comes to JVs, previous generation JVCs.
The acuity of vision plays into this to some degree, and also I really think, Ryan, that anti-RBE, if the anti-RBE doesn't work for you and you see those flashes, you're gonna hate the projector no matter what else it does.
I know, I do, because of that.
I think it can like curse it to where you're not gonna even like give it a shot. Thankfully for me, that's not. I so rarely see RBE with the mode they've engaged, with the anti-RBE they've engaged, that it's okay, right? If I saw RBE, I couldn't keep this.
Yeah. Oh, it's some of the stuff it does is great. I just can't use it because of the issues that it presents, the artifacts and the RBE. It's not usable for me. And it doesn't mean that I hate it. It's just not the tool for me. I can't use it. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
So we will leave it here. Jonathan's got to go. He's got some stuff to do with his family. He said he needed an hour, and we're at an hour and 13. I will be back on Thursday to do another rooms and review. Ben forgot about me last week, so we'll be back on Thursday. And then Jonathan and I will be consistent on this until we're not. But I scheduled a bunch of streams, so we better be consistent or people aren't going to like us. But we'll leave it at that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm Ryan. That's Jonathan. He's better looking than me. He's always better looking than me. If you're not coming to M-Wave, you should. Dates are to the left. Go to MidwestAVExperience.net. Ryan Kramer's doing God's work in building that website and providing information to the community about what's going on. Continuing to sell tickets. We sold several today. So if you have any interest on going to M-Wave, don't hesitate. It'll be a lot of fun. It's not as big as it was in the past, but there's some big names there. Jason Dustle, the head of ISF, Adam Peltz, one of the best calibrators in the world, Jeffrey, the owner and designer of Ascendo, Epson's Jason Russell and Rob Brennan will be there. So we got some people. And since it's small, you're going to be able to spend some time with these guys, ask them any questions. It's going to be a more intimate experience. So if you want to come, head over to midwestavexperience.net, buy some tickets, and we will see you guys there. But that's it. Enjoy your home theater journey. Stay safe out there, and we will see you guys in the next one. See you later.